Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us. This is Rapid Dawn on Rapid TV. My name is Martha Alu.
And my name is Victor. Okay, good to have you back on the big conversation this morning.
Yes, and today's conversation, as important as always, and basically about Nigeria and the young people in Nigeria. So Nigeria is a young country, but our systems are not, because it has existed long before now. And today, youth unemployment and underemployment remain above 40%, which is according to the National Bureau of Statistics. Yet, beyond job loss, there is a deeper crisis, which is over 70% of Nigerian youths are disengaged from formal political processes. I know when we talk about empowerment, we're oftentimes just limited to upskilling the Nigerian youth and giving them resources as captured in the budget, which we discussed yesterday. But much more than that is making them part of the policy formation processes. That is also one part of employment that I think has been overlooked over the years. Empowerment that has been overlooked over the years. Every year, Nigeria spends billions of naira on youth programs, skill grant initiatives, but still lacks a national youth participation framework and clear leadership outcomes. Meanwhile, countries like Rwanda, Germany, and Finland, they have gone further, which is basically legalizing and integrating young people into policy making and governance. So our question for today is not whether Nigeria is empowering its youth. It is, are we empowering them in the right areas? And are we preparing them to lead? Because leadership is also part of empowerment. And to have us join us for this conversation today, we have Haruna Godiya. Haruna Godiya is the Programs and Policy Coordinator for LEAP Africa, one that is very particular about the involvement of youth, not just in political activities, but in governance as well. Good morning to you, Mr. Haruna.
Time is power.
Good morning, Martha. Good morning. Thank you so much.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year. It's nice seeing you. Thank you so much.
It's good to have you join us.
Good morning, Haruna.
Thank
Welcome.
you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right. Let's start off with hearing your perspective of youth empowerment.
Thank you so much, Martha. I think you set the context already, and it's interesting. Can you hear me?
Yes, clearly.
Yeah, you set the context already. I think what is happening to Nigeria is that there's a way we define concepts, and then there's a way we understand concepts. That is why what does empowerment means to us? I think we still grapple. We're still struggling with what does empowerment mean for us in Nigeria. I have been privileged to travel across Nigeria from the north to the west, to the east, and to the south. The understanding of what empowerment actually means are different. To some section of the country, empower means, giving financial support, giving maybe products or giving particular tools, that is what is empowerment. While to some section of the country, empowerment means actually investing in, maybe education, or investing in the social security of your citizens. So I think even understanding these concepts and then being able to put it into perspective is what is really challenging for us as a country. So when we talk about youth empowerment and human capital development in Nigeria, I think we need to go back to the basics to even understand what do we mean when we say we are empowering our people, and what exactly is actually available in this 21st century, in this fourth industrial revolution, that our people need to learn and not just do what they call copy and paste. And why I'm saying these things, because I will come to that conversation later. Last year, I attended an education conference, where I was speaking with a particular school administrator, and the person told me that they were not part of the process that developed a new curriculum for the secondary school. Interesting. So that tells you that when we want to empower people, what do we even mean? How do you want to empower people without inclusion? How do you want to empower people without really defining what it means for you to empower them? Are you giving them books? Are you giving them school materials? Are you giving them subsidies? What exactly are you giving them? And not just doing random things. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
If you look at this as well, I think you've also set the context, Haruna. many times we hear about empowerment and it's all about how to earn, as individuals. But how do we differentiate this? Empowering people to earn and also empowering people to decide and to lead as individuals.
Okay, so for us to actually come to terms with that, I think we need to rejig our processes and our system. Why I say so is because if you remember, for some of us that when we were in the university, I'll use myself as an example. When I was in school, I did a course called Introduction to Entrepreneurship. But that introduction to entrepreneurship was more for me to cram and pour and get my score and leave.
Okay.
I did not set up any business. I did not participate in any workshop. I did not participate in anything. But it was introduction to entrepreneurship, and they were expecting that at the end, as a graduate, I should start a business. So what does it tell you? It tells you that when we want to do this thing, even in our curriculum, some of these things will just be there. But where is the space for people to put this thing into practice? Is not there. Okay. So when we talk about empowering young people, it's not just about the knowledge. There should be knowledge, and then there should be spaces for them to deploy that knowledge that they have already gotten, and which the youth have not gotten. That's why you see most of the youth are in the informal sector. According to a statistics I just read a few days ago, 93% of Nigerian youth are in the informal sector. Informal sector. Now tell me, who is remitting what to at the informal sector? Are you in the corporate place? No. So you see that there is a struggle between these things. And I don't want to go into the conversation of what the MBS, that controversial process of defining what is how unemployment and underemployment is being calculated at the moment, because that's not the conversation I want to go in. Because sometimes when I think about that thing, I just feel that sometimes we want to politicize things. Okay. Because I don't know where we've moved from the basic of how to calculate things to now a new model because it is a particular government. So, but I didn't want to just go into that conversation.
All right. Now, let's talk about, because you have established the fact that when we talk about empowerment, it's not just about upskilling. Because when you just upskill the youth, it's just basically equipping them or putting them in survival mode, not in a mood where they can create policies that affect them long term, right? But we see that over 60% of Nigerians are below the age of 30. Yes, 60% of Nigeria population is under 30. And we have the average of political leaders remains over 50%. Now, we are the largest demographic, right, in this grand scheme of things, but we have little to no influence or little to no representation when it comes to political activities, governance. Why do you think this is? Because time and again, we have heard that the Nigerian youths are not equipped to lead. And if a person is not equipped to lead, how can they be given the opportunity to lead? That's one. Secondly, who is responsible for equipping them to lead? If at all, we have seen that there's a lacuna in the knowledge that they have and what it takes to lead.
Interesting, interesting questions, Martha. So for me to respond to that, I think the gap between the older generation and the younger generation is not because the youth are not ready to lead. In fact, there is a current conversation we are having, myself and some of my team members, about, do you know that the Not Too Young to Run bill that became a law has benefited the children of the elite than the poor masses?
Tell us about
Go and check who has benefited. Most of the people that have benefited from the Not Too Young to Run are people that their parents are either ex-governors, ex-senators, ex-ministers, ex-SAs in government, or rich people.
But wouldn't you say it's natural because they are already at the corridors of power, so it's easier for them to get into power now that they already have it within their household?
Yes, so that's why I'm telling you, to let you understand that now that we have even there is a policy that is in place to encourage young people to go into those spaces. Still, the child of the poor man is struggling to get access to that. What does it tell you? It tells you that there is a fundamental process that we are missing. So you don't build on nothing, you build on something. What is the foundational basis? Because when the foundation is destroyed, what can we do? We can't do anything. Now, the major thing is you for young people that have been struggling to actually participate in this is there is politicization of the political system that made it a financial body. I know it's everywhere. in terms of the Western world. You can't say that politics is cheap, but there are basic things at the grassroots level that can encourage young people, whether you are somebody that your parents are poor or your parents are rich, that you can participate in. But so that's how it goes down to party democracy. So let's start from party democracy. That's what we call party democracy, or what we call internal democracy. If the process at the party is very fair, and inclusive, you are going to get those people that are going to they are going to transition from where they are into spaces, both for the rich and both for the poor. Let me give you an instance. In a particular state, I will not want to mention the states. The reason why one of the young person benefited to even come and participate in the federal house is because I think his father, I think somebody from their family was actually running for that office. But in the process, the person died. And then the party decided to give him as a compensation so that the ticket will not leave their family. That's how the person emerged. So you can tell me that if somebody is emerging from that process, what would the person do? You are giving compensation to lead people because your uncle will be your father or your family person who is the one that has the vision to go, died. And then you are now compensated to go there and represent a whole people. So you can see that at the level of the party, there is already an issue that needs to be resolved. So inclusiveness and party democracy will yield the result of giving equal access to people at that party level to be able to rise. Now, young people want to run, but they lack access to resources. Sometimes when you want to go out there to even campaign for something, the amount that you need to actually do that. So because of the overburden of financial constraints, how much to buy a councillor ticket, how much to buy a local government chair ticket. All these things are some of the things that are limiting young people from participating in the policy. So it's not about go and run. You say we should go and run. Do we have the money? No. How are we being supported? Okay. So then the other thing, apart from the financial body, I would say is lack of vision and mentorship. Leaders that have gone before us, how many people are interested in grooming the next generation of leaders that will lead positively and not be at their beck and call because they want to use them? Let's be sincere to ourselves. You cannot yield, you cannot reap what you cannot reap where you do not sow. Right? So, and you don't expect to reap corn where you planted yam. It cannot work. So all these things are things that translate to affecting young people in terms of participation in politics. Now, your second question about unemployment and the likes. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, go on.
Yeah, did I get the question correctly? That's the second question.
All right. The second question is basically if we have experienced, or if we now have established that there's a lacuna in the knowledge that is required for young people to lead, who is responsible for filling them up?
I think it's a national thing. It's a national thing, and everybody have a role to play. I think I would just, as somebody that believes in family, I want to start from the family.
Okay.
I want to start from the family. So leadership does not just appear anywhere. It starts from the family. The first point of call, in fact, is in I think it's social studies. One of the things that we learned is that the family is the first point of socialization for the child. So grooming starts from the family. What are the tenets? What exactly are we building when we say we are training our children? One of the good books says, train up a child in the way he or she should go. When the person is old, the person will not depart from it. Okay? So what does it mean? It means that the family is the nerve upon which a child is built. Because character shaping, character building, character molding is happening at that level of family, even before the child goes to school. So the family has a role to play. Then the next thing also is the civil society organization. I can't take away the civil society organization. The NGOs and all those civil society, they've been doing a lot of advocacy. They've been doing a lot of support. I belong to a community where part of the things they do is that they provide technical support to young people that want to run for office. Maybe they can help you with your campaign strategy. They can help you to get access to people that can fund your campaign. They help you to help you with your branding and all those things. What do? They give their support to ensure that this is done. Okay, so the civil society. Then the other thing also that can help us is beyond the family, beyond the civil society organization is also government. Believe me or not, government is very powerful, and government dictates or sets the pace for its citizens. The constitution has already given us guidelines on how we should lead our people. Can we be true to ourselves, be intentional, be deliberate, and be conscious of what was handed over to us? If Nigerians can actually obey, if leaders in authority can actually obey the constitution to the latter, I am telling you, Nigeria will be a better place. So I will urge the government to institutionalize those things that are actually handed over to them, which they swore under oath to protect, to preserve, and to support, for them to be able to do that. If not, we'll be saying the same thing all over again. Who is in charge of budgeting for us for the year? Is the government. Even though we have people go there. So if these people are not doing their work, if these people are not setting the pace, so on one way, there is a process for for followership, and also there is a mandate on the leadership to set the pace. Go and check countries that have moved forward, are countries that the leaders have a vision. They set the hallmark, they set the premium, they set the pace for the citizens to follow.
All right, Haruna. I heard you initially when you talked about the fact that many Nigerian youth are actually playing more in the informal sector. And if you look at right now as well, you see that when we talk about empowerment or skills, basically people are looking out for the tech skills, which of course is something that helps prepare for the future, vocational skills and all of that. But beyond all of these, what skills do we need to become effective decision makers in our society?
Okay, so as you know, as you are aware, Nigeria is a developing nation. And because we are a developing nation, what is obtainable here is not what is obtainable in other climes.
Of course.
And it's important that we contextualize what we want to do as a country. In terms of skills, I would say that, of course, the fourth industrial revolution is ongoing, and we need to tap into what exactly this is going on. We have AI, we have robotics, all these things are good. But the question is, in our society, whether you like it or not, Nigeria is still, to a reasonable extent, an agrarian society. An agrarian society is a society that is heavily dependent on agriculture. Now, what technology are we bringing into agriculture that can translate our production, our distribution, and our storage in terms of Nigeria? And we know that agriculture is one of the major employer of labor. Agriculture is one of the mainstay of our economy because many Nigerians are into farming, production, distribution, and then storage or preservation of our goods. I go to my village. I am from Bauchi State. You will go and see that during rainy season or during planting season or whatever, you will see the farm produce that is produced. Is it onion? Is it tomato? Is it corn? Is it maize? Is it guinea corn or whatever? All these things are produced. Rice. But in dry season, where do they go to? They either get bad or they don't yield because of what? In terms of the process of production, we are still lagging behind. In terms of distribution, we don't have a channel to distribute. In terms of storage is poor. Let me even shock you. There is a time they launched an initiative in my village. That initiative was supposed to be a machine that is preserving onion. They brought it. They tried it only once. The machine burnt, and that is how they left it. Till that machine was sold off, or was sold out as a scrap. So what does it tell you? It tells you that we just do empowerment things, we just do random things and expect a different result. It will not work that way. So we need skills. For young people have flair for different things. And so far, whether you like it or not, if you are able to make a sector lucrative, youth are going to venture in it. So if you want youth to go into agriculture, make it lucrative, provide a basic that will make them to be able to participate in it, that will make them to work, to go into it. I am a youth. If you tell me to go into, I'm already even in agriculture. Do you understand? And I know the level of agriculture that I'm practicing. I don't go to farm always, but I know the level I can do to ensure that whatever farmland I have is done. So, in summary, what I am saying is this: the skills that Nigerians, especially our youth, need is contextually relevant skills that is going to translate to something for them for self-sufficiency.
Of
And
course.
that is why we need to introduce TVET. We need to reinforce TVET, technical, vocational, and entrepreneurial training,
Yeah.
where if somebody wants to do tailoring, the person has access to those machines, the person is trained, and the person has access to go to the market. If I say I want to do farming, I have access to the tools and I move into farming. If I say I want to do I have access to this. So, technical and vocational skills, we've been talking about technical and vocational skills training. In fact, one of the things that we have learned is that young people are willing, but if you don't make it lucrative and if there's no spaces for them to thrive,
Mm.
most of them are not going to do that. And I will end with this: the kind of skills that is obtainable in northern Nigeria is not the same thing that is in southern Nigeria. Let us be clear.
Mm.
Because of our level of exposure, because of our level of inclinations, it's not everything. Because they are doing AI in so state, they must do AI in other states. No, we need to do this assessment, know the skills that these people need.
Good.
There is a model I'm proposing. If in a state, one of the things that they need is a particular product, why not develop youths in line with that product so that they can immediately, they are transitioning, they provide the need, than training people randomly and then expecting that they are going to get jobs anywhere. So yeah, so in summary, contractually relevant skills so that there will not be mismatch. Not that the youths don't want to work, but most times there is mismatch between the skills that they have and the skills that the labor market is demanding.
That's right.
Okay, so at what point do you think that the youth should come in here? Because we have talked about, you mentioned the last point, which is something I was going to emphasize on. They are ready to work, but mismatch of skill, to what is available for them to occupy. So is this not now the responsibility of the young people to begin to match up their skills with what is available in the market? Because I'm looking here at about readiness to work, and it says that globally about 13% of young people are unemployed. But in Nigeria, the figures are much higher, and many jobs are underemployed or working insecure jobs. And when I was trying to do a bit of research on why this is, it says that there are also young people who have not put forth the right attitude, especially when it comes to work. Attitudes like lateness, absenteeism, and low willpower to carry out their functions within the industry that they are being employed. Also, not to blame the young people, trying to match up the reason why they have found themselves like this. It is about the economic situation or the remuneration that they get from organizations like this. Is the reason that we see absenteeism, lateness, lack of will to work, and all of that from the young people. What now can the young people do to ensure that their skills match what is available, and they are able to get jobs that are able to reward them based on their skill sets? I don't know if that's a question that you understand, or I should take it again.
Yeah, I think I pretty much understand the question, but one thing I think that comes to me when you ask that question is no youth is going to act beyond their exposure.
Okay.
And the expectation is that it's just like in a family. There's always a burden that is on the first child of a family. You know why? Because it is expected that you have gone before this person, before you have gone before your younger ones, and you're supposed to leave a certain behavior so that the ones that are coming after you can either emulate or take it as a correction. So for me, what can the youth do? The truth is that you can't take away the issue of nonchalance and the likes. That is why I said something should be lucrative. There should be a motivation for what the young people are going to do. If you are employed in an organization, right, and then in that organization there is no good motivation for you to do what you want to do, what do you expect the youth to do? The youth cannot go beyond. We are humans. We are moved most times by motivation and by incentives. So even in government parastatal or something, people act correctly, people act well, people behave well because of the kind of motivation, the kind of aura they get in the office.
But
So
Haruna, before you continue, don't you see that this has also created a some sort of problem in the workforce where I know that remuneration is such a big deal and incentives
mhm,
also are so important for motivation. But don't you see that we have now more young people who are more obsessed with earning from that than actually getting the job done?
Done.
Because you see most people say, okay, there's an easy way
mhm,
out. This is going to fetch me more money. In fact,
mhm,
you are aware of the statistics of people that have engaged in fraud, how many people have cut corners. From 2023
mhm.
till 2026, we have had very scary data about people who want to cut corners. Don't you think that this culture of always wanting it to pay in the way that you want it to pay is the reason that we are seeing low motivation from people and now increased obsession with earning?
Okay. So the youths on one side have their own challenges, which I believe that should be addressed. But one thing I always want to whenever I address issue is I'll address issue in terms of individuals involved and also the spaces or the context where they belong to.
Okay.
Let me give you an instance of something. Let me give you an example of something.
Mm-hmm.
2 days ago, I was somewhere, and then for a program, and when they finish the program, the expectation is that when you are going out, there is fruit item for you to pick to take.
Okay.
Now, I saw a child who was about, let me say, 10 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Went, saw the person was carrying two slices of what they call it, of orange, orange. And then I saw him with about over 10 pieces of biscuits. And I was wondering, I said, why? I called the child, I said, why did you pick this? The child kept quiet. I now left. I now told the child to go. Now, I was having a conversation with my wife. I said, look at what happened. I saw a child like this. And my wife said, that was very bad. But what she's more concerned is who is the adult that allowed the child to pick that thing without calling the child to order.
All right.
Do you understand? It was very instructive to me. So the child came to pick that thing from somebody, an adult that was sharing. So how manage did the adult allow the child to carry those number of things without telling the child, no, you are supposed to pick only one? So the point I am driving at is this. Yes, we have because of globalization, because of access to information, access to resources and data, people have opportunities to get job opportunities, and say, oh, maybe the Gen Z, I want to get this. Me, I want to get, a remote job. I want to, you understand? Some of these things happen because of information flow and all those things. And some of them are not wrong because the access to those information and the opportunities are actually there for them to tap into. Somebody has called me a Yahoo boy before because he sees me working from home with a laptop. Yes, I work from home sometimes. And I know there was a time when I came into Abuja newly and I was in a community. They said I am a Yahoo boy because it didn't occur to them. I'm telling you, this was COVID season. They said, who is this one not going to work and is always with laptop? What does it tell you? It tells you that even the context that you are living, sometimes they tend to say all these things because they don't understand what you are doing. So my point is, young people need to aspire for good things, but of course, ethically and be within the confines of the law and not go over and beyond and begin to do anything that is outside. But
Exactly.
also, you should know that people that have gone before our youth, they should set good examples. And when a child is going off, you bring them back to life and let them understand that I have gone before you, and this is what is obtainable. You do this, and you do that.
All
So
right.
it's a two-way thing. People that have gone before us and for us also as youth. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're past the half of the hour. Let's go on a very short break. When we get back, we'll keep up with this conversation. Please stay with us.